Hey, 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 hey. Welcome to the Wednesday wind down, y'all. I got water today. Water, I'm hydrating. I'm hydrating. I just got up from a nap. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord. So what's going on? What's going on in your world? I would love to hear from you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. For those of you who do not know me, I am Natasha McCrae. I am the Love CEO. I help women promote themselves from a love employee to love CEO. I'm here for all of it. I bet we do. I can't wait. You got to send me a picture. Text me a picture, then Shay. Girl, you know what? It's just, okay. So just text me when you get a chance. Give me a shout out. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I feel it is so important for the subject that I'm talking about today. I want to make sure that I have put it in the Natasha McCrae page. You guys share this with your friends because people need to hear this. We need to hear it, y'all. I'm really excited because it's important. Oh, I'm hearing myself. It's important that when we start thinking about relationships, oftentimes we tend to adapt. I would say adapting and overcoming. Adapt and overcome. Adapt and overcome. Hey, from Jacksonville. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you so much for tuning in, Tamisha. And oftentimes we are looking, I'm going to speak from two perspectives, because I'm speaking from the perspective that when you're single and you're looking to get into a relationship, oftentimes we have a tendency to become this thing that we think men want. Y'all hear me? You become this thing that you think men want versus just beingness and your whole feminine power, and then attracting that one who sees you and accepts all your womanly beingness, not us adapting and becoming this thing they want. I think it's really important that we put that in our psyche when we are looking to be in a relationship. And I'll never forget, years ago, I have to admit, I was that girl. Y'all, I was that girl. I was just rereading my journal because I'm getting ready to do my one-woman show. For those of you who do not know, I have a one-woman show called Evolution of a Love Addict. You must go to my page, check it out, get your ticket. It's going to be virtual, so it's $15.99 for anyone in the world. And I want to hit all these nations globally. So I was looking at I was rereading the show because I've been rehearsing, and I was looking at my old journals. And then looking at my old journals, I was like, girl, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. But you know what? Don't be embarrassed, because it happens to everybody. It happens to the best of us, honey. It happens to the best of us. I was going on dates, and I would know who this guy was and know what the guy was into, if he was into sports or if he was, I dated this Latino guy and I started talking like, oh, poppy this and poppy that. That was not even in my vocabulary. Now, if that's in your vocabulary, then so be it. But that was not even in my vocabulary, y'all. It wasn't even my vocabulary. And I ended up kind of assimilating into this person who wasn't myself. I wasn't my true, authentic self. I wasn't comfortable in my own skin. And that's where that stems from. It stems from not knowing who you are and being comfortable in your own skin. Because sometimes we go, I know who I am, what you talking about? But being comfortable in your own skin means you can show up in the spaces of men or the space of the universe and be like, this is who I am. This is what I've gone through in life. I have overcome some things. And I accept all of who I am. And when you accept all of who you are, those around you do as well. But often we are not accepting all of who we are. We're not accepting all of who we are. And when we don't do that, then it just bleeds into other relationships. I don't know, or when we're trying to get into a relationship or when we're even in a relationship. I'll never forget waking up from my second divorce, in my second marriage, and looking in the mirror and wondering, who the hell is this woman? I was reading my one woman show, and I had literally turned into this Stepford wife. I had turned into this person who was doing things not because I wanted to or because I genuinely loved them. I was doing things because I felt that's what he wanted. I felt that was what I could do for him not to cheat. I felt I could turn into this person that, books and podcasts and all these things said, do be this type of woman or your man won't cheat. And I thought I could be that woman. And I looked up and I was not myself. And I'm in my marriage now, I do some of the same things, but I'm doing them because I love them. I found myself. I know who I am. Hey, Christy Ferris from LA. I know who I am. And I want to tell you that relationships, it's beautiful if these relationships last forever. It's beautiful if they do. And it's twofold. If they don't, you don't want to lose who you are. If they don't, you don't want to look up and not know the person who you're looking at in the mirror. But even if it does last forever, you want to authentically be able to be yourself for the rest of your life, period. So that's why I want to, speak to the single ladies, because this is stuff that marriage, the married ladies really aren't talking about all the time. They're not talking about when they wake up, 5 years into their marriage and they're like, who the hell is she? Because they've been doing this thing because they thought that's how you were supposed to do it. But that's between you and your spouse. So if in singlehood you get this on lock, it's going to save you so much when you're in a relationship. It's going to save you so much. All right, so who's out there? Who's feeling me on what I'm saying? I want you to make sure you share this post. I'm going to give you some tips on how to maintain you, how to dive into that relationship with you so you don't lose yourself when you get into a relationship or when you try to attract a relationship. We don't want to lose yourself. Someone said, I've done that years ago. Yeah, I was that girl. It was crazy. And even to be completely honest with you, I almost went back into that like 6 months into my marriage. And I just had to be like, ixnay on all that bullshit say, because I am not going to be living there for the rest of my life. I am not going to be living there for the rest of my life. Y'all, I hope y'all can hear me, because I realized my headset was plugged in, which has my mic on it, and it was way over there. I've been doing that so much lately. My husband got me a mic, and I just haven't set it up. But I want to know who is there. I vowed to never do that again. Yes, I know this subject is so important because I know we have done it. We have done it. And now, like, I coach men as well, but I do that on private coaching. And I know, like, when I've talked to them in their consults, they've done it as well. But I know it is very common amongst women to give yourself completely away, and then you have nothing left for yourself. So how can we do this? Okay, good. Thanks. Hey, Cindy, girl. So I'm so glad y'all can hear me, because I'm just loud talking. You guys, my baby left. Jordan has ventured into a new chapter in their life. So they were living with us for a little while, and now they're not. And I'm like, where'd they go? So that was just a very interesting space to be in today, which I was sitting in the house and I'm like, I'm here with me and honey baby. All right, so let's talk about this. Oh, I'm so glad I'm loud and clear. Thank you, Christy, because I know I've been yelling, honey. So in order for you to maintain who you are, and it's so important to do this even before you're in a marriage, you have to maintain who you are, is really self-awareness. I cannot stress it enough. It's self-awareness to get to know who you are. Spend time with yourself. Ask yourself those questions. What do I like? What don't I like? And be able to stand firm in that. Someone says, oh my goodness, thank you. Yeah, the room is empty. Someone said, thank you. It's a confirmation. I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's a confirmation for you. And I say this often, and you guys, a lot of times when I'm giving tips, I will talk about self-awareness, but let me break self-awareness down for you for a little bit. It's not just some flippant thing that we say, oh, get to know yourself. It's really the type of questions that you would ask someone when you're first getting into a relationship. Those are the type of questions you should ask yourself. Like, what do you like? What do you stand for? What do you dislike? What aren't you going to take anymore? What do you love? What brings you joy? It's having those conversations with yourself. I designed a guided journal years ago, and I did it for that reason, so that you could know, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. So that when you're when you're even looking to be in a relationship, when you know who you are, it works as a filter. It will filter out the riffraff, honey. Let's filter out the riffraff. It will filter out the riffraff when you know who you are. When you don't know who you are, you're going to start taking mess. You're going to let somebody stay in your world a little longer than they should because you're wondering if they're the one, because you have not clearly set a precedent of who you are and what you want in a relationship. So they're going to just stay a lot longer. When they're out of your life, you're going to wonder, where did they go? And you're going to be crying, wondering, oh my goodness, I want that person, when they don't even fit the description of the person that is right for you. So let's talk about who you are, what you want, what you stand for, the type of person that you want to attract into your world. Have that clarity. Have that clarity. Because that will transcend when you do get in the relationship, that you can constantly remind yourself. And when you start using that as a practice, when you get into the relationship, sometimes we have to back up and revisit that. You have to back up and revisit it, but you have to go through life consciously. You have to be conscious. You cannot go through life like just unconscious, just going through life. Because then riffraff's going to come in. You're going to be dealing with some crazy people. Hey, Sharon, you'll be dealing with some crazy people for no reason when they don't even fit the mold of what you want in your life. You won't even be able to set boundaries. When you know what you stand for, when you know who you are, you can set boundaries. When you know what you stand for, when you know who you are, you can determine what you're going to attract into your life. You will not lose yourself. And if you get a little glimmer of maybe I might lose myself, you can back up and reevaluate. You can back up and reevaluate. That's really important. Another way to not lose yourself, don't be giving it up for the relationship, y'all. Another way to not lose yourself is to make sure you maintain time with yourself. It's not just in the knowingness, it's in actual time. What time do you allow for yourself in your relationship? And I don't mean just the absence of them when you're longing for them, like, oh, where are you? I can't wait to see you. I mean, like, really diving into the time for yourself. Diving into that time for yourself. That's important. That's important. I mean, I went through years of bad relationships. Years. So when I'm talking about this, I ain't just talking out the side of my neck, y'all. I'm talking from bad relationships, losing myself, bad relationships, losing myself, counseling, therapy. I wrote a one-woman show about it. To being in a relationship now, and even then it is me maintaining those tools so that I can still enjoy my life and love my life no matter where we are on the journey. Don't get it twisted. Even when you're married, there are still actions and practices that you need to implement in order to maintain a healthy relationship. And it hasn't always been roses, but I best believe, and I'll tell you this much, I will for sure be enjoying my life. I will for sure not be losing myself. I've done it too many times before. I have mastered now how to love myself, stay in tune with myself, recalibrate when I need to. So that's what I'm here to give y'all, to recalibrate when you need to. So self-awareness, spending time with yourself, make sure that that self-awareness is like journaling, asking those questions that you would ask your new boo. Ask them questions, honey. Don't sleep. Spending time, like actual quality time with yourself. I did a workshop a few weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I'm like a few weeks ago, and it was just 2 weeks ago, y'all. I have so much going on. A couple of weeks ago, and we were in self-care. We really talk about loving ourselves through our love language. Like oftentimes when people talk about your love language, Sean, yes, I did say that earlier, but let me repeat it again. Okay, so let's see. Christy says, when you know who you are, what you stand for, you'll set boundaries. Yes, you will, when you know who you are. All right, so Sean Johnson, this is for the fellas too and the women too. What do I stand for? Y'all take notes, because you're going to have to go back and listen to replay if anybody else comes in. What do I stand for? What do I love? What brings me joy? What do I want in a partner? What are my most amazing characteristics? What type of partner complements those most amazing characteristics? Knowing, a lot of times people say, don't focus on what you don't want. I don't want you focusing on what you don't want, but I do want you to identify what you don't want, so that when you are looking into getting into a relationship, and if you see those signs, then you can be like, yeah, no, thank you, filter, for removing that person out of my life. And then if you're in a relationship, it gives you an opportunity to set boundaries. If you know what you want, if you know what you stand for, if you know, the type of person that you don't want, or I will call them just can't haves, your must haves and your can't haves. And you can identify those things. But if you don't know, then you're just going to be dealing with riffraff. Oh, thank you, Christy. You said you were trying to repeat what you said. You did. You got it right, girl. You got it right. So you want to make sure that you maintain yourself as a priority, because you're the most important piece to the puzzle when you're thinking about being in a relationship or even giving to a relationship. And when you're giving to a relationship, you can give from that full cup that I often talk about, not that empty cup. You don't want to be looking at a relationship like, who can fill this gap? Who can fill this gap? You complete me. People don't want any part of that. People don't want any part of that. You got to be into the place of like, I am loving who I am. And I'm so excited that the universe and God's going to bring me that partner who compliments me. And the characteristics of who's going to compliment you. And therefore, that's going to be your filter. So you're going to create you're going to activate that reticular activating system, where you buy a red car, you see red cars. So you identify, I'm going to have this type of person in my life. And therefore, you're going to attract that type of person in your life. I know, easier said than done, right? I make it sound so simple. However, it is. It is. But most of the time, people aren't going to do the simple work. They're not going to do the simple tasks. They're not going to do those little things like journal. Oh, she said journal. That's great. You're going to get off this live and be like, she said journal. That's wonderful. I like to consider myself the Mr. Miyagi of alpha females. That means you're going to wax on and wax off, and you may not know why you're doing it. But I tell you why you're doing it. Yes, exactly. They can be good men, but not good for you. And if I said this in group coaching the other day, if you know yourself and you know what you want to leave the world with, like I want to just drop love bombs all over the world. Boom, 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 just drop love bombs. Then you can come into someone's space and leave that. You're not looking at them for desperation. You're collecting data and you're dropping love bombs all over the world. You're dropping love bombs because you know who you are. You know who you are. You know what you want. You've created that filter. Yes. Hey, you're a great guy, but you're not for me. And you might give them a referral. But if you don't know who you are, you might deal with that person a little bit longer than you really need to. And that's not good. That ain't good. So that's all I got for y'all today. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll sit on here for just a couple of more moments. But I just wanted to bring that up because I feel like a lot of times we as women, and guys too. I mean, guys do it too, but I'm speaking to the ladies, fellas. We as women, I don't know where all these weird voices are coming from. Maybe it's because I'm practicing all the characters in my one woman show. um, but we as women have a tendency to lose ourselves. And sometimes losing yourself doesn't even look, it doesn't even look damsel in distress. Sometimes losing yourself can come out as anger and can come out as defensive alpha because you've lost yourself to all the damage that has happened in previous relationships. You've lost yourself to that. So therefore, you're just like on the defense. Like people do stuff or someone says something that sounds sideways and you're like, why are you doing that? What you got stuff to say? So, it can show up in your world in so many different ways. But it's really, really, really important for you to just know it, identify it, because I'm going to tell you, you are the gatekeeper. You are the gatekeeper to how you move through life. You are the gatekeeper to how you respond to, the crap people deal you. Did I say that right? Anyway, you are the gatekeeper to responding to life. And people, we can't control what people do to us, but we can control how we respond to it. And either we are going to respond to it in our authentic truth, or we are going to turn into someone we don't even recognize. Don't even recognize. And I want you to be all you, honey. I want you to be all you. All right, y'all. So for those of you who do not know me, I'm Natasha McCray. Welcome and thank you for coming in, tuning into my Facebook Live. Thank you to your friends who have shared this live. I appreciate y'all. Share this because someone is sitting there just really not being their authentic self, and they don't feel good. And life doesn't feel good to them. And I believe life should feel good. The part you can control should feel good. And also I'm having my one woman show that's coming up. So go to my page. Y'all can get that. Actually, you can go to Evolution of a Love Addict. Let me see if I can type that in. I can't post comments to some destination. So if you go to Evolution of a Love Addict, you're going to go to my page and it's all over there. So evolutionofaloveaddict.com. You can get tickets. It's going to be October 23rd. I'll be talking a lot about this and diving deep into the serial mind of a dating divorcee. It's a roller coaster ride of dating experiences. You get to see it. You get to hear my backstory in live and in living color. I leave it all on the stage, y'all. I leave it all on the stage. So go out and make it an amazing week. It's only Wednesday. It's only Wednesday. You can finish strong. Here you go. Cheers to the Wednesday wind down with water. Cheers. I love y'all. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.